In Iraq's autonomous Kurdistan region, a significant political realignment is taking shape with implications that stretch far beyond the mountainous borderlands separating Iraq and Iran. Several exiled Iranian-Kurdish opposition parties have announced the formation of a new political front aimed squarely at challenging the authority of the Islamic Republic of Iran and advancing Kurdish self-determination. Operating from bases in the Kurdistan region of Iraq, these groups have long existed in a fragmented landscape marked by ideological divisions, personality rivalries, and differing strategic visions. Their decision to unite under a single coalition banner signals both urgency and opportunity, emerging at a moment when Iran faces renewed domestic unrest, economic strain from sanctions, and heightened regional tensions. For decades, Kurdish movements inside Iran have oscillated between armed struggle, political activism, and exile politics. This new coalition suggests an attempt to recalibrate strategy, moving from isolated party agendas toward a coordinated political platform designed to influence Iran's evolving internal crisis and position Kurdish demands within a broader national opposition framework. The newly announced alliance, formerly known as the Coalition of Political Forces of Iranian-Kurdistan, brings together 5 major Kurdish factions: the Democratic Party of Iranian-Kurdistan, PDKI, the Kurdistan Freedom Party, PAK, the Kurdistan Free Life Party, PJAK, Kamala of the Toilers of Kurdistan, and the Kabat Organization of Iranian Kurdistan. These groups finalized their coalition framework after prolonged negotiations through what they call a dialogue center aimed at reducing internal fragmentation. However, not all Kurdish factions joined. 2 significant actors, the Kamala, Revolutionary Party of Iranian Kurdistan, and the Kamala Kurdistan Organization of the Communist Party of Iran, refrained from signing the agreement, underscoring that unity remains partial rather than absolute. In their founding declaration, the coalition characterizes Iranian Kurdistan as an occupied and militarized region governed through repression, arguing that while the Islamic Republic has lost political legitimacy, opposition divisions have enabled it to survive. By consolidating their efforts, the signatories hope to overcome that fragmentation and redefine the Kurdish role within Iran's broader opposition movement. The coalition's objectives are explicit and ambitious. First, it seeks the overthrow of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Second, it demands recognition of the Kurdish nation's right to self-determination. Third, it calls for the establishment of a democratic institutional framework rooted in the political will of the Kurdish population in Iranian Kurdistan. At the same time, the alliance frames itself not as an isolated ethnic bloc, but as part of a nationwide movement for systemic change. It has expressed support for anti-government protests that erupted across Iran in recent months, initially sparked by economic hardship and later expanding into broader demonstrations challenging state authority. Kurdish majority regions in western Iran have often been at the forefront of such unrest, historically experiencing disproportionate crackdowns. The coalition emphasizes coordinated political and on-the-ground cooperation with other Iranian opposition actors, but sets conditions. Any alliance must recognize national rights, commit to democratic governance, and reject dictatorship in all forms. In doing so, Kurdish parties are attempting to anchor their demands within a wider democratic discourse rather than presenting them solely as separatist ambitions. Yet, the formation of this coalition unfolds within a delicate regional environment. The Kurdistan region of Iraq has long hosted Iranian-Kurdish opposition camps and rear bases, making it a recurring target of Iranian cross-border strikes. In 2022, after protests erupted over the death in custody of Mahsa Amini, a young Kurdish Iranian woman, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps launched missile and drone attacks on facilities linked to groups such as the PDKI and Komala, accusing them of inciting unrest. In response to escalating tensions, Baghdad and Tehran signed a 2023 security agreement committing Iraq to disarm and relocate Iranian-Kurdish armed groups away from border areas. Since then, most factions have largely refrained from overt armed activity. Following the new coalition announcement, the Kurdistan Regional Government swiftly clarified that it would not allow its territory to be used as a launchpad for attacks against neighboring countries. This statement reflects the tightrope Iraqi Kurdish authorities must walk, balancing solidarity with fellow Kurds against the imperative of maintaining stable relations with Tehran. The regional and international dimensions further complicate the picture. PJAK, one of the coalition members, is affiliated with the broader Kurdistan Workers' Party network, which Ankara, the European Union, and the United States designate as a terrorist organization. Reports have periodically surfaced of attempted cross-border movements and intelligence cooperation between regional actors to contain militant activity, though some groups deny such claims. Meanwhile, Iran has continued to demonstrate its willingness to project force into Iraqi Kurdistan, targeting not only opposition groups but also energy infrastructure and sites it alleges are linked to foreign powers. These developments occur against a backdrop of renewed tension between Tehran and Washington, with military posturing in the Persian Gulf and political debates in the United States about how to confront Iran's leadership. Kurdish opposition groups may perceive this broader pressure on Tehran as a strategic opening. Yet, overt militarization would risk provoking severe retaliation and undermining the fragile stability of Iraqi Kurdistan itself. Thus, the coalition appears to be positioning itself primarily as a political rather than military front, at least for now. Ultimately, the coalition represents both an opportunity and a test for Iranian-Kurdish politics. For decades, fragmentation has diluted Kurdish bargaining power within Iran's national opposition landscape. Rival parties often competed for influence, resources, and external backing, allowing Tehran to exploit divisions. By uniting five factions under a shared framework, Kurdish leaders are attempting to present a more coherent voice at a moment of perceived regime vulnerability. Yet unity on paper does not automatically translate into durable coordination. The absence of two major parties raises questions about whether parallel political tracks will persist. Sustained cooperation will require inclusive decision-making, disciplined messaging, and credible representation of diverse Kurdish constituencies. If the coalition succeeds in maintaining cohesion and building alliances with non-Kurdish democratic forces, it could significantly reshape the Kurdish role in Iran's political future. If it falters, however, it risks reinforcing the very fragmentation it was designed to overcome. In a region where Kurdish aspirations have often collided with geopolitical realities, this new alliance stands at the intersection of hope, strategy, and uncertainty.